Hello everybody, and thank you for joining in to our cooking show. This is the two GranMars. My name is Marsha.
I'm Marla.
So that's where we got our name from for the show, Marsha, Marla. Anyway, we thought that was a nice take. And we're both grandmothers. So
That's right.
Anyway, and we love to cook. So today we're going to be featuring Super Bowl food. We're going to be featuring 3 items. Devil's on horseback, which that is dates stuffed with really your choice, but we're going to stuff them today with blue cheese, and then we're going to make another batch, and we're going to stuff those with almonds. We're also going to make a sausage rolled in crescent rolls, and they're sausage bites, right?
Yep, sausage bites. And we're going to do some potato skins stuffed with sloppy joes.
So I know at your Super Bowl party, you probably got a lot of guys there that they want something other than dip and chip or dip and vegetables. So this is something good, hearty, stick to your ribs, and I can tell you, they will be gone in no time.
Everybody will be happy to be at your Super Bowl party.
Yes, they will.
Hello everybody, we're back, and we're going to start our Super Bowl food with my friend's recipe. It's called Charlie's. He calls them Hojos, but here in the South we call them Sloppy Joes. So that's what we're going to call them today. And we've got 1 pound of ground beef browned here, and then we're going to chop some onions and some bell peppers, and that goes in there. And
onions, bell pepper, and a lot of good spicy things. So we're just going to chop these real quick.
We're going to chop these right quick and get those in with the ground beef.
Have y'all ever made these before? Have you ever made homemade sloppy joes? I bet a lot of people don't, because it's so easy to pick up that little package of sloppy joes.
Sloppy joes are all making a comeback.
I know, because in their local we have a sloppy joes place open. So I'm sure that they're going to be making sloppy joes, and probably put sloppy joes on everything, just like we're doing here with our potatoes.
You know, when I was little, we made a lot of sloppy joes, but since then, you don't really hear about a lot of people.
Well, one thing I don't really like about sloppy joes is that you put it on bread, and it doesn't stay on bread. I mean, you take a bite of the sandwich, and the whole sloppy joes falls out. I know that's why they got their name, but all the goodies fall out on your plate, and so then you just have to eat it with a fork. So this is a good way not to have to eat it with a fork, or you can, but because you can pick one of these potatoes up that we're going to show y'all in a minute, and have the sloppy joe goodies inside.
And then we bake them, put some cheese on top.
A little sour cream.
Yep.
Got to have the whole works. Okay.
Good to go. I
got this. I used a yellow bell pepper because that's just what I happen to have in my refrigerator, and that's the way I cook. If it doesn't match up to the recipe perfect, I don't run to the store for one item. I just use whatever I have.
Just fine, and it's so much prettier than green.
I think so too. I'm all about color in my food, so we've got a little yellow, we got a little onion, and we're going to cook this up.
Put those in there.
So good. Okay. All right, we're going to let this cook a little bit, then we're going to come back and we're going to stuff them for you and show you exactly how we do them. And
fill our skins.
Yes, it's a very, very good Super Bowl party.
Okay, so we're back, and we're doing our Super Bowl show, and we've got some great football food, and we have we browned our ground beef, and then we added a half of an onion and a half of a bell pepper, and it's a yellow bell pepper, and it was a purple onion, and we let those cook down for just a little bit. So now they're ready. We're ready to add all of the other ingredients. And Marsha's going to add some things while I read this
What's first, Marla?
It's going to be some chili sauce.
Chili sauce, here we are.
And we have...
This is the chili sauce.
We have about half a cup of chili sauce. And we've got...
What's next?
The ketchup, which is about a 1/4 cup of ketchup.
Here we go.
We're going to add that. This is going to be delicious.
Okay, what's next?
And then we've got some mustard, 2 tablespoons of mustard.
Got everything already measured out just because
it makes it so much easier if you go ahead and do that in advance of your recipe, so that you've just got it all measured out, and you don't have to keep closing and opening the bottles. And it makes it so much easier to do that.
I'm doing the apple cider vinegar now.
Apple cider
how much
vinegar,
was that?
About 1 1/4.
There we go.
Teaspoons. And then it's about 1 1/2 tablespoons of sweet relish.
Which is kind of unusual, I think.
That was the most unusual ingredient. But like I said, I got this from my friend Charlie, and
he was a believer.
Yes.
If he's a believer, we're a believer.
He said, I have this great recipe. So I went home and I made it and tried it, and it was delicious.
Good. What I just added in while she was explaining that we, this was actually 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Because we know that Sloppy Joes have a little sweet and sour in them, and we've got it all going on right there.
Yep. And so we're going to mix all this up. And Marsha, for the last ingredient that we need to add is about a shake of some Worcestershire sauce.
And we love when it calls for a shake. We don't have to measure anything out. Is it a big shake or a little shake? What is it, Marla? I think a big shake.
There we go.
That might have been 2 big shakes, but that's okay.
So now we're
everything will be better.
We're going to mix this up. And you know,
this looks so good. Marla and I think we've told you before, we grew up together here in Olive Branch. We're in the same high school. When we were growing up, we didn't have one restaurant here other than the Rebel Cafe. And there was no McDonald's, there was no Sonic. If you wanted that, you either had to go to South Haven or Memphis. So we were just talking about how things have changed. But the good thing is that we learned to cook at home. We ate at home. We didn't go out to eat.
We didn't have any choices. And, you know, our parents couldn't really afford to go out to eat.
They
so
couldn't.
We cooked at home. Every meal we ate at home. We had this all mixed up now. And what you would normally do if you were using these 4 Sloppy Joes, like on buns, then you would let this cook in the crock pot for about 35 to 45 minutes, or you could just put it on top of the stove and let it cook for just a little bit. But we are making stuffed potato shells.
Yeah.
And after we stuff them, we're going to put them in the oven. So that's going to finish cooking.
Have y'all ever done, this is how you make twice baked potatoes or Sloppy Joes. And all you do, it's best to bake your baked potato wrapped in foil just like you normally do, and take it out, let the potato totally cool, and then you're going to take your spoon and just kind of go around like that, because you want to leave it a little thick in the middle so your Sloppy Joe doesn't go through the bottom of it. Okay, so see, you're going to have about that much, and that's going to give you a nice hollowed out area where your Sloppy Joe mix is going to go. Now, what I do with this is all the leftover potato skin middle. Next day, I usually put onions with it, put it on the stove in a nice black skillet, and butter in it, and make fried potatoes. They are so good.
Yes.
So nothing goes to waste at my house. We recycle everything.
And fried mashed potatoes are so delicious. So
Now,
we'll have to do a show about that.
We will do a show. But anyway, just keep in mind that you think, oh, I'm wasting all that. What are you going to do with that potato? You could also make potato soup with it. You could also make cream potatoes with it. Cream potatoes wouldn't be as good because it's already gotten cold, so it wouldn't be as, you'd have lumps. If you're a lumpy potato eater, you'd like it that way.
That's just right.
All right, so let me go here.
How cute and pretty these are.
Yeah, very hearty. Again.
Going to be delicious.
Yes.
So we've got about, how many you got there? About 10, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And we're going to put, you don't have to even, I think that one might be stuffed a little too much.
You do?
Well, just because if you pick it up, you really couldn't eat it, you know. You'd have to get the plate and fork, and
we'll let that person have a little more.
It's kind of like stuffing eggs. You know, it's like you always get to those 2 or 3 last eggs, and you've already used all your filling. Then you have to go scrape it off the top.
Steal
from the other potato or the other egg. But
these look really, really
good. And then if you do this, and then you're like, oh, I got all this left over, then you start piling it up.
Or you could just make a sandwich.
Or you could save it for a true Sloppy Joe tomorrow. Yum. All right.
I like the orange bell pepper.
I do too. Isn't that pretty?
Yeah.
I'm all about the color. Got to have a little color in there.
Eat with your eyes
Eat
first.
with your eyes. So we got a little left over. You see any that maybe need a little bit more?
Yeah.
Put a little bit more right here. Push that down. Sorry, using our fingers. That's the way we cook at home.
Gonna have to put
Look
some
at this.
cheese on
Put a little
top.
cheese on it.
Oh, those look delicious.
Let's get here. Because we're fixing to pop these babies in the oven, and they're going to be so, so good. Marla, can you think about a fun Super Bowl party you went to?
Gosh, they were all fun. You know, it's just fun to get together with people.
It is.
And your family or your friends and just watch it. But
Here we go again. Food and friends.
It
Food and
brings
family.
people together. It's just fun. And if people get together, you have to have food. So
Oh, absolutely. And I love that,
it goes hand in hand.
When I've had Super Bowl parties, I'll always make, 3 or 4 appetizers because everybody always says, what can I bring?
Yeah.
And that's what I like is they bring their appetizer and it's something I wouldn't have made or didn't make or don't ever make. So,
And then you end up with a great just table full of all different kinds of food.
Absolutely. So let's pop these in the oven and then we'll be right back and we'll show you how pretty they look after they've cooked.
You know, a funny thing about appetizers, it's so funny that my husband's son, Drew, when we would go to a restaurant, he would say, Daddy, can we have some early food instead of an appetizer? He said, can we have early food? I always thought that was so funny.
Did the waitress know what he was talking about?
No, but we did.
Yeah.
So what do we got here?
Okay,
Marsha?
what do we have here we've already cooked some for y'all, so you can see these are called Devils on Horseback. And this batch, we're cooking 2 different batches for you today. This has dates stuffed with blue cheese with bacon wrapped around them. We bake those on, I think I did it on 350 for like 10, 15 minutes. 15 minutes is the longest. You want to watch them. Matter of fact, you can even take them out a little early because, as you know, most things cook a little bit longer once you take them out of the oven. So, and it's the same way with this. When I took them out at first, because I don't really like fatty bacon on anything. I like it
crispy.
But I took them out a little early, and they were perfect. They cooked just a little bit when they were out, enough that you don't have anything fatty on there. It's all good. Now, what I also did was just drizzle them with balsamic vinegar. And that gives you a little sweet taste to them.
Oh, yeah, that sounds great.
So these are really good. Some recipes call for prunes. I prefer dates, so that's what we've used here today on ours. Are dates, bacon, and we've got these that we're going to stuff with an almond. Look how simple this is. We took the date, and dates come pitted or not pitted, kind of like an olive. These came with the seed in them. Make sure if yours come that way, you take them out because nobody wants to bite into that, and it's probably not near as good as that delicious almond that we're going to put in it. So you put this right here. You're going to close it up. You're going to wrap it with a little bacon, just like that, and it's done. Ready to go in the oven. We're going to do another one for you, but again, just spread the date like that. Make sure you take the pit out if yours come with a pit. These did. I ordered them online, which I don't always like to do that because you know, sometimes when I'm ordering online, I don't pay as much to the details as I do if I'm there at the store really reading the label good. So these came with pits, but it's no big deal. Just take it right out.
Yep. And we're stuffing them with what kind of almonds are those?
These are pineapple habanero olives. Not olives. Almonds. But you can stuff them with any kind of almond. The recipe that I read suggested smoked almond, which they're delicious too. But I did not find those at the grocery store, and I'm not going to worry about it because these are really good. They're pineapple again, and they've got a little sweetness to them. They're going to be as good as any kind of almond you could put in there. Okay. So what we're going to do is put these on a baking sheet. We're going to be right back, and we're going to show you the next item.
Okay, welcome back, y'all. We are back, and we've done 2 of our appetizers that we have for the Super Bowl party, but now we're on number 3.
The easiest one.
The easiest one of all. I mean, it's super easy, and it's called smoked sausage bites, and it's so easy. So we've got some crescent roll dough, and if you can find the crescent roll dough sheets, it makes it real easy because what you do is wrap your sausage in the dough. We couldn't find those, so we had to get the regular crescent roll dough that has the perforations that are the triangles. So we took 2 of those out and we put the perforations together, and we're each going to roll up our sausage in it, and we do it on the long side so it completely covers it.
Here we
So,
go.
Marsha, this has been so much fun.
I know. It really has been. There's nothing I like to entertain with more than just appetizers. Matter of fact, I prefer to do heavy appetizers over a sit-down dinner most all the time, with the exception, of course, of Christmas or a special occasion. It's always nice to go to the nice table you don't get to use very often and really have a true sit-down dinner. But for the most part, I prefer doing heavy appetizers or letting everybody graze like they want to, and having a nice
really
variety
fun.
that you know that everybody will like. But these are good. Again, and one thing good about these, and this is pretty important to me at a Super Bowl party, you don't want to have to make sure everything is hot. So these are good whether they're right out of the oven or whether they've been on the table room temperature. So that's something
and who
else.
doesn't like a crescent roll? I mean, crescent rolls are like the best.
You can put anything in them.
You could cover them with honey. You can cover them with butter. More butter.
More butter.
We like butter.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so then we just slice them off.
Like this.
And the person that gets the end piece is going to really love those.
We're going to put them in the, this is just like a cupcake pan. And what happens is, of course, your crescent roll is going to be puffier. So it gives you plenty of room to spread out and make a nice, but it still contains where it just doesn't go all over the, all over the pan.
So we just lay those in there like that. And we spray this with a little cooking oil.
And we're going to cook these for how long, Marla?
We're going to cook them on 350 for about 15 to 20 minutes until the crescent roll is nice and brown and pretty. You'll know when they're done. And we've got more of these, so
we're going to get another pan.
We're
going to show y'all exactly how to do it, how simple and easy it is. Don't think you have to just have a bunch of ingredients and everything.
No, this is so
And again,
easy.
there's not a guy in the house that won't think this is the best thing they've ever eaten.
Some bites.
Or a girl like me.
Yeah, we love these, and we'll have some honey mustard to go with it for dipping, and it will be delicious.
So we hope that y'all have enjoyed this segment on the Super Bowl foods. We could go on and on and on, but we tried to pick several things that we knew that would really be good for the whole party to enjoy.
Everybody would love.
Yeah, and again, you can do so many different things with it. Just depends on what works for you, what's easy for you, especially what do you have in your refrigerator and freezer already that you can do.
We don't want to spend all day in the kitchen.
No.
We just want things that we can put together fast and be done.
Yep.
So we hope that we've gotten 3 appetizers for y'all that you'll find easy and delicious.
Hello, I'm Marsha Perkins with the 2 GranMars.
I'm Marla Voyles, and we have a special tip for y'all today. My tip for today is to always clean as you go. When you're preparing anything in your kitchen, just wipe your counters. Always keep one of your sinks full of hot soapy water, and because most of your measuring cups and spoons only need to be rinsed, and then you can reuse them. All that stuff doesn't have to go through a dishwasher cycle. You just rinse and keep something by your sink especially like your pots and pans. A lot of those just need to be rinsed out. A quick run through. You don't have to put those in the dishwasher. And then you're ready to go for the next thing. And that's my tip. What's yours, Marsha?
Mine is, how many times have you had something in the oven and you look over there, it needs to come out immediately, you grab the wet rag instead of the dry rag, and you grab it and it's wet and you didn't realize it, or it could just even be damp, and you get that skillet out of the oven and it burns your hands because it goes through so quick when the rag is wet. So my tip is, don't grab the wet one. Have a nice dry one. Go in the oven, get it, and you'll save a lot of hands from being burned.
Welcome back to our Super Bowl show.
This has been a fun show.
Excited, yes.
The 2 Mars are back with you again,
Yeah,
and now we've fixed everything, and we're gonna taste everything. And
everything's cooked, and it was so easy. We did 3 appetizers in not that much time, so it was just fun and it was easy. And we did these potatoes. We just baked the potato, and we hollowed out the center, and then we made our sloppy Joe mix, and we stuffed the potatoes and put cheese on top, and now we've added a little bit of sour cream. So those were super easy to make. It's
and probably the most detailed thing that we made here.
Yep, it sure was. It's so delicious.
Again, you can eat in a potato. If you have leftovers, you can eat them on a bun like a traditional sloppy Joe.
These are good reheated too. You can just reheat them and have them.
You really could freeze them.
You really could.
Yeah, if you had a bunch
that.
left over, freeze them, and you could pop them out.
Wait for the next party.
Yes, yes.
Yep. Because there's always a party somewhere.
Absolutely.
Okay, what about our
what we
next
got
one?
here, the finished product of the Devils on the Horseback. We've got two different kinds. We've got the date stuffed with blue cheese. We also have date stuffed with the pineapple flavored almonds. And anyway, habanero.
Yes.
So if you get, there's be a little kick in those, but it's not too much. So anyway, and we bake these for like 15 minutes, and very, very good. And wrapped in bacon. Bacon, the most important part. Now, what do we got here?
We have our smoked sausage bites. And we just took those smoked sausages and wrapped them in the crescent roll dough and put them in a muffin tin and baked them for about, everything that we did was about 350 for about 15 or 20 minutes. So it was really simple. And then these just puff up and turn so nice and golden brown. And we have a little honey mustard to serve with them. And it completes our Super Bowl party. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And y'all have fun at your Super Bowl party.
Yep. Goodbye, y'all.